just I was not disappointed at halftime. It was my concern for this basketball team coming into this game, coming off our first loss, and being so young that some guys wouldn't handle. Losing is an epidemic, and losing is not good. And young people don't know how to handle losing. And it was our first experience as a team to go through it. And I think we kind of came out and played the first half like somebody took our dog. You know, we didn't have the enthusiasm, the fight that we have played with every single day out. But I'm equally as pleased. I thought we grew up a lot in the second half as a basketball team. Different guys doing things. Obviously, PJ continues to grow as a player and do unbelievable things for us. And like I tell him, that's also his challenge. He's got God-given ability that he has to impact our team in a great way for us to be a great team, and he continues to grow into that. But, you know, my coach we weren't rebounding as a freshman comes out and goes after every ball in the second half, the whole deal. So I'm real proud. They've got a good team. They're fighting. They're watching them on film. It's a completely different team than what I saw last year.
Questions for PJ?
PJ, just talking about your growth that Coach mentioned, would you just mind giving us a taste of like what that's been like for you? Another 20-point performance today. Just what's that been like? And also with the 20-point performance, have you seen anything these last few games that's leading to this great success?
I mean, I don't really pay too much attention about the whole point thing, but just the growth, as Coach said, you know, it starts with confidence. You know, last year it wasn't there. You know, didn't have the trust in the coaching staff because, you know, I'd come out and do the same thing, you know, make freshman mistakes, what we call it. But just, you know, the whole turnaround from last year to this year is great. You know, I still have a lot of work to do. You know, I'm just looking forward to keep progressing.
In terms of your skills, what skills are you specifically focused on to get better and continue to atone to?
Everything. You know, I don't think we have any focus points. You know, just continue to grow as a player and continue to help the team as much as possible. You know, with Sim being out, we only have 2 seniors out on the floor. You know, as Coach said, so we're young, and the rest is sophomores and freshmen. So, you know, we're a young team, and we're just looking to grow every day.
I don't believe USF had a field goal in the last 7 minutes, and it looked like your defensive intensity increased in the second half. Did it?
Absolutely. As Coach said, you know, we came out first half a little sluggish. We wasn't playing a Gamecock basketball. You know, we make our offense out of our defense, and we wasn't doing that the first half. And, you know, we went in the locker room, and Coach gave us that word that we needed, you know, and came out there with the intensity that we should have started off with.
You got your 4th foul with almost 6 minutes left in the game. How are you able to stay so aggressive, you know, hit the 3 right after the foul, and then continue, you know, not the foul, still play good defense?
Just try to continue to play. Have the same aggressive mindset, but be smart about it. You know, the fouls that I picked up weren't smart fouls. You know, all of them were nonchalant fouls and tic-tac fouls that I shouldn't have picked up in the first place. So just continue to have that aggressive mindset and be smart about it.
Any more questions for PJ? All right, P, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, John.
Thanks, P. Questions for Frank?
Just about your second half defense, Coach. I don't know that they had a half dozen assists the whole game.
Yeah, it's we fouled too much today, and that comes from our we're learning to play. Here's the dynamic we have. Shindarius is our best perimeter defender. So now you take him out, and our defense is predicated around being very good on the perimeter defensively. And now you start putting Gravett in there, and he's grown a lot. And now he rolls his ankle. So now, heck, I played Kotsar at the 3 for a couple minutes there. You know, we prepared to do that today. We got to figure it out now with the team that's actually on the court for us to keep our identity. And our identity is our enthusiasm, our relentless approach defensively. That's what gives us the life to then play aggressively on offense. You think about our game, you know, we had open shots in the first half that we didn't make. Defensively, we had no juice, we didn't rebound, and they attacked us, and they had us on our heels, and, you know, it was like a boxer that's got a minute to go on the round and he's groggy. Luckily, we got the halftime to be able to kind of sit down and recompose ourselves. But we came out the second half, and I think I think Dwayne had been 0 for his last 18 or something. And all of a sudden jumping up and making that first one, him being the senior, kind of gave everyone a little enthusiasm. And, you know, then we just, defensively, we were better, which allowed us, and we rebounded. That's the other part. There were some rebounds that, in the first half, that we could have gotten, that we didn't, which gives them another opportunity. We started to rebound, which then allowed us to run. We got out the open court, and now we're attacking, and that's our mindset. When we're like that, I like our team. We're pretty good.
USF has had some epidemics of losing the last few years. But you see a different kind of team. What do you think of the job Orlando's doing, and what do you see from this program?
Yeah, I obviously I'm from this state. I've known everyone that's coached here for the last 30 years, and I think this is a great place. And but it's hard. It's hard, and you know, Orlando got here, and there were some issues in place already, and I've kind of lived it in South Carolina. I'm lucky. We were able to, I'm not gonna say we turned the corner, because we haven't gotten anything accomplished yet. Excuse the ink, but it's kind of the truth. And it's hard. It's not easy to turn a program around and go from down here to up there. It's a never-ending story, and it's hard. But when I watch his team, and I told them this before the game, and I told them this after the game, this group of guys look like they really enjoy playing with each other. They're fighting for one another. I saw it on film. Heck, they were down to who'd they just play before us? Bethune. They were down. And you're watching Phil. Those kids never threw in the towel. And I got to tell you, when I watched them last year on film, when they get down, they kind of say, "I can't wait for the buzzer to sound." And it's a completely different team. You know, as everyone has stated, you know, their staff, our staff, we're friends. I've known all those guys since I was a kid. I'm rooting for them. And I want to see the school do well. I'm a fan of the schools in the state of Florida. I want to see the school do well.
You mentioned it with Dwayne, I believe he was over 8 in the first half. What does it say about his mindset to put behind that rough beginning and then salvage it with 15 points and be a huge playmaker down the stretch?
Yeah, you know, at Seton Hall the other night, he had some looks and they didn't go down. And I kind of jumped him a little bit. Not jumped him like in a bad way, but like, kind of like, yo, man, you got to make shots. And he kind of stressed himself out. And after the game, I could see it in his face in the locker room that with the whole suspension, he kind of put a lot of responsibility on himself, and he felt like he let us down because there were plays for him to make that he didn't make. And I got on the plane to go home, and all I could think about was like, you know, Frank, that kid does everything you ask him to do. And instead of helping him that game, you just put a bigger burden on him. So I grabbed him, and we spoke the following day, and I could see when we spoke about that, I could see the relief in his whole demeanor. Like, yes, I struggled with all that. And that's why at halftime, he hadn't made any shots. I didn't say a word to him. On the contrary, I said, yo, man, it's all right. It's all right. You know, we need you to guard McMurray. Everything else is okay. And but then, like good players, that ball finally went in the net for him, and then, you know, it gets that big, and then they start going in for him.